This is Country Living Oregon Style 61, and today I am going to show you how I make orange chicken, and this particular recipe can be also canned. So it starts out with, now remember I'm doubling my batch, but ordinarily you would use 2 pounds of chicken. And I've got a little tiny bit of oil in here, just enough to brown this. I'll get it turned on. I messed that up. I didn't turn it on before, so we'll get it started. But this only makes. I'll put the recipe in the description box. It only makes 3 pints at the time. That's why I'm doubling it, because I'm going to can it today. It's an easy recipe. Most of the stuff you have on hand, except maybe the sesame seed oil or the sesame oil. Most of the stuff you would have on hand, that'd be the only thing you'd have to go out and buy, probably. So let me get this hot, and then I will get started, and we'll show you how I go about putting it together. And then I'll cut you off for a little bit, get my jars ready, and I'll show you what it looks like in the jar. So I'll be right back as soon as this gets hot enough to cook the chicken just a bit. Okay, my chicken is all but done. All you're doing is like you would do a stir fry. Let me move the camera up just a little bit. Then I'll put a, well, let's see, without taking you for too big a ride. That way you can see the chicken. Well, let's see if we can get it over here to work. See, you want to cook it off to where it's cooked, basically. And you put this all together. I use the boneless, skinless chicken breasts. That way I'm not having to fight with the fat or any of that. So we'll move the camera back down here onto the table, and we'll show you what we can, maybe we can, I don't know. There. Okay. Now I'm going to put a hot pad on this. I'm going to take it off the heat to put it on to show you exactly what I'm putting into it. Let's maybe move it up, I don't know. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I've still got the burner on because we're going to put it back on to do a light boil. But in the meantime, we put 1 tablespoon. So I'm doing 2. Let me dry this out. So I had vinegars and stuff in it. Okay. One tablespoon of ginger. Well, I'm going to put 2 tablespoons in because I'm doing a double batch. Yeah, Jim built me this new little table, and it's pretty cool to where I can move it wherever I want. And we have 2 teaspoons of garlic for a double batch, otherwise a teaspoon. And when I put it in the description box, I will put just as a single batch. Then you can do whatever you want. Now I crush these, my own red bell peppers, hot ones, and so you put a teaspoon of that in. And I have already got it measured out as a tablespoon of the rice wine vinegar. Oh, in fact, I probably should put another one in. Hang on 1 minute, because I forgot I was doubling it. Alright, we'll put the other tablespoon in. How's that? Now that I've got it caught up to where I remembered I was making a double batch. Then you do a half a teaspoon, so I'm doing a teaspoon of the sesame oil. You're adding all these ingredients to this, and then you'll bring it to a boil. a light boil. So we want, it calls for a half a teaspoon, so we're going to do a teaspoon. Doesn't take a lot. This is really good. And a quarter of a teaspoon, which we'll do a half, of the white pepper. It's a tablespoon and a half, so I'll do 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. You can use any kind of soy sauce that you want. Give that a little bit of a stir. Already smells good. 1.5, so it'll be 3 tablespoons of water. Five tablespoons of white vinegar, but I've got 10 here because I'm doubling it. Okay, we want 5, so we'll put in 10 tablespoons of sugar. Give that kind of a stir so it'll kind of mix up a little bit. And what are we missing now? Let's see. Oh, we got a cup, which we're doing a double batch, so it's 2 cups of orange juice. Give it a stir, get that sugar mixed up a little bit in it. And we have let's see, a tablespoon, I would say at least a tablespoon for me, zest of an orange. Yeah, needs a little more. We can always put a little more in. We'll taste it here pretty soon. Now, that's all there is to it. And I will tip it up here so you can see it. See the broth on it? Now, we got to cook this. We'll put it back on the stove. We'll cook this, bring it to a light boil, and then we'll start loading our jars. So now we've got it, well, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. We can turn this around a little bit. We've got it on the stove. And we'll bring it to a light boil. And then we'll put it in jars. I cut my chicken up into, not real small, but kind of small. It's supposed to, you know, about this size here. Let's see if I can get it there, like that. It's not real big, but it's, you know, kind of a bite size. Now remember, when you cook it, it's going to cook it down. You know, they're going to shrink up on you a little bit. Anyway, we'll bring this to a boil, a light boil, and then I will show you what it looks like in the jar. And you process this pints for 75 minutes at 11 pounds of pressure. I will have to do it longer because of my elevation. You can do it in quarts for 90 minutes at 11 pounds of pressure. Then you can heat it up. When you get ready to use it, heat it up, pour it over your rice, and you've got orange chicken. So we'll let this come to a boil, and then we'll show you how I load my jars.